friends. Hello. I was reminded of a really fun topic that I want to speak about as I was recording with my friend Renee. As you guys may know, we have a podcast together, and I'll link it up in the caption description. And you can check it out. This episode that we just recorded, that's going to be on the topic that I'm talking about today on the diaries, won't come out until next week. But anyway, it is something that was spurred during our conversation about human design authorities. And as I was speaking to Renee, I realized another layer of importance of when you are parenting, when you are raising your children, if you are a parent, if you're an aunt, if you're an uncle, a grandparent, or even a teacher, some sort of guide, it's so important to understand that the likelihood of you raising or teaching or guiding someone who is different than you is very high. A different design, I'm specifically speaking about. So, excuse me, I have a cough drop in today because, yeah, my sinuses have gone wild. So, I think it would be a magical place if when babies were born, they're like, okay, here's your baby. And like, we hope you're all set up, good to go. And here are the birth charts. And here's your human design chart. And here's the best way to work with the child. And, a lot of people are like, oh, babies, they don't come with manuals. And it's like, well, a little bit, a little bit. Luckily, from my guidance and parenting that I was gifted from my guardians, it was very in alignment. But I do believe this is because my type is very similar to my mother's type, and my authority was the same as hers and my father's and my brother's. At the my older brother and my younger brother was a completely different curveball in the family, as far as the design and the makeup and the way he is meant to move in the world. So I feel like I got very blessed, very lucky, and many of us do, because as guardians, as teachers, we often want to give to another what we would like to receive. And this is such a beautiful concept, do unto others as you would have done unto you. And I think that's a pretty good basis for treating each other well. But it goes a little deeper when we're guiding someone on how to move effectively in life, how to make decisions, how to align with their purpose and what jobs and careers might be best suited for them and how to correctly enter into a relationship. And all of this really can be, there's so many breadcrumbs that can be found in human design. And I think if we can begin parenting and guiding children at an early age, there will be a lot less work for people like me who are working with adults mainly on deconditioning. Removing stories from parents that meant well, I'm sure, or did the best they could with what they had at the time, but might have taught their projector child who was meant to wait for an invitation to go out there and just do it. Just grind it out. Just work hard, play hard. These very generator sacral being slogans that do kind of work well with an energy being. Press and and sort of influence onto a projector who is a non-energy type and meant to really be okay with being on their own and not having to fit in with everyone, and definitely being given permission to rest. And we could see how that could create so much stress for the projector child who will be encouraged to be out of alignment consistently, and then likely will be rewarded by the guardians, by the caretakers when they are out of alignment, but acting more like a generator. So, I think that's why also I have a Cancer moon and I'm very caring and motherly in that way. And I believe that's why I love my job so much, because I get to help guide people to reparent themselves. And I use these tools to help them do this. And ultimately, my goal is to use whatever tool I have, whatever nuggets of little wisdom and insights that I've gathered, to give to another so that they can tune into themselves and recognize, okay, I get an opportunity to reparent myself here. How would I like to move in the world? So it's all, I'm not wanting to be their mother. I'm not wanting to tell them the right or wrong way to do something. I'm offering suggestions and reflections, tools and resources so that they could say, you know what? Things do work out better for me when I wait for an invitation. Or I do feel healthy and vital when I allow myself to rest and not have to keep up with the crowd. I make more money when I don't just focus on grinding, but instead I focus on following my flow, following my fun, right? So all of these things I think are wonderful, wonderful ways to use human design as a tool to decondition, reparent yourself, and assist you in moving in alignment with the way that your body's designed to move and appreciate, recognize where your gifts, where your shadows are, and where you might be influenced by others. And then Ross says the deconditioning journey is approximately 7 years. And so this is where you remember your design, you learn your design, you're taught your design, you're coached with your design, and you start to bump up against things in your life, stories, narratives, conditioning that keeps you from believing and knowing that truth. And so the deconditioning journey requires experimentation. So as you're reminded of your human design, as you continue to deepen your study, your life from that point on is extremely important because it's an experiment. And you'll get to go ahead and initiate. If you're a projector and you're meant to wait for an invitation, you'll go initiate and see how that goes for you. Do it with consciousness and say, wow, I am super drained. Or I really irritated that person. Or I lost money. Or, right? All these things. Or you can recognize equally when you wait for the invitation, you get the invitation, you process it through your authority correctly, and you go and do the thing, recognizing all the synchronicities and alignment and fuel that it brings your soul because you are living according to your design. So, this is one of my most favorite things to speak on. There's going to be more on the episode coming out next week. Shine on You 2.0. And it's such an honor to co-host with Renee. And I love how what we are doing there can be an inspiration for what I'm doing here. And it reinvigorates my passion for sharing human design and sharing gene keys and astrology and all these tools that can help you understand you better, move more effectively in the world. And then, of course, I love the idea of us raising up the next generation that are empowered, that are strong, that are self assured, that are free to move in the world in the way that feels best for them so that they can effectively play their role. And we can all sort of come together like this perfectly oiled and calibrated machine. And the machine moves. We move forward as humanity and we have more peace, more love, more play. This is my dream. This is my hope. This is my wish. I love you all. I hope this inspires you. Check out your children's human design. Continue to play with yours and continue to decondition. I'm right here with you, doing it alongside you. Love you.